Your sparring will never be high level until you can do the things that I'm telling you today. Make sure you review each point and go, yes, check, I can do that, check, I can do that, oh no, I can't do this one, and then start working on it. This is how you become an elite martial artist who can really fight. The team over at XMartial has sent me these amazing shorts, which I absolutely love. If you guys are looking to up your apparel, get some better stuff for your training sessions, you can head over there. I have a link down below where you can use my promo code Gabriel Varga to save yourself 10%. Now, the ultimate aim of getting into classes, doing martial arts, should be getting better at sparring. If you're not really getting better at sparring, it's kind of like, what are you there for, right? That's the end goal. Being able to have somebody in front of you who's not just wanting to play your game, right? If you're hitting the bag, you can do whatever you want. Somebody's holding pads, you can do whatever you want. But when you have somebody across from you, all of a sudden this is a real test. And this is where we go, is our skill improving or is it not? And if you want to be considered an elite person in martial arts, it really comes down to the sparring. Nothing else is going to demonstrate how good you are. So you need everything I'm sharing with you today. And the very first thing that you absolutely have to be able to do is to create openings, because people don't just give you openings. Occasionally, yeah, they'll make some mistakes or something, but when you have somebody in front of you who's like this or they're like this, they're protecting themselves to the best of their abilities. And if you just step in every time and just throw and hope an opening is created, you're not high level. So what do I mean by this? How do we go about doing something to create an opening? Well, we hit the same spot multiple times. So it might be if I'm going for an inside low. And I shuffle in, I give them the inside low. I do something else, I come back to the inside low. I give them a combo, I hit the inside low. So they start thinking, oh boy, I have to be ready for that inside low. And they're ready to come up and check it or something like that. Maybe you see as they check, their hand is dropping a little bit. So you set up something like, okay, I hit, I fake, and then I touch. Or I hit them with the front kick repeated times until I see that hand start to drop, and then I flip it. This ability is something that can be trained by being on the bag or being in shadow boxing and imagining an opponent, which you should be doing anyway. I do something like, okay, I stick a jab, move around, stick the jab. I imagine they're gonna parry the jab next time, fake it, and then wrap around. Just do that kind of thing in shadow boxing or bag work, and your skill set in this area, creating openings, will start to improve. The next thing, which I believe every elite fighter in the world absolutely needs, is good defense. Now, defense can come in many forms, but still at the end of the day, I think everybody needs an effective high guard. Whether it's MMA gloves, boxing gloves, you have to have the ability, if you're hurt or tired or unable to create space for slipping or parrying, you have to have that ability to shell up and effectively defend yourself. And this can be done very simply by having somebody step in front of you and just really light at first throwing shots. You just stand your ground and you just make adjustments. The biggest mistake that most people make in their high guard is they let space come between their hands and their head. This is not a proper high guard. This is where shots start wrapping around, or they hit the glove and the glove bounces off my face. We want to learn to keep things snug. Hands rest just above the eyes, and then if a straight shot comes, I close off the hole. If a hook comes, I close off the hole. But I'm always keeping these hands in contact. It's like sliding two things together like this, right? If I'm sliding them around and I can do it here, why can't I do it here? That's one we need to get good at to be an elite striker. The next must-have is the ability to not just throw a single or maybe a double, but to really open up on combos. And this is something that a lot of people don't do because, yeah, it's scary stepping in and throwing 3s or 4s or 5s or even 6s on my combo, because the longer I am attacking, the more vulnerable I am for a counterattack. So to get good at this, we really have to come up with some good combos that make sense, drill them lots, and make sure we're learning to close off holes. We're not doing things like, okay, jab, cross, low kick, We don't want that kind of thing. We want tight, 1, 2, protected, 3, protected, head off the center line. We start building combinations where we have confidence to stay in tight for a fairly decent amount of time and not to be getting hit. And again, this just comes back to keeping the hands tight, making sure one hand always reconnects with the head. When we throw kicks, understanding range. If we're throwing something kick-wise short, knowing how to get our head off the center line or how to keep one hand up the middle. Do the drilling for the combos in your shadow and think about that. I'm not thinking about, okay, my jab and my cross and my hook. I'm thinking about the other hand as I throw. Because at some point, the offense is going to get so comfortable that you don't have to put a lot of thought into, oh, how do I throw a jab? You can think, what's this hand doing? What's this hand doing? What's that hand doing? And now where I'm at when I throw my kick in terms of distance. This is high level stuff. Before we get to the next point, I want to let everybody know that I have a link down below to Strike Ready Combat, where for just $99 you can grab my offense course and my takedown course. Both of these are going to help your skill level bump. If you love the content that I'm giving you today, these provide so much more depth into how you can improve your offense and improve your takedowns and your takedown defense for Muay Thai. Now you need to know how to close range. You have to be able to do it effectively, because at the end of the day, everybody in sparring is going to end up against somebody taller than them. They can just stick really long shots and you're going, oh, this person's too tall for me. I don't know how to get in. I don't feel comfortable closing range. Of course, closing range is so easy when you're the person who's way taller and you can just, oh yeah, look at me go. I just take a little step, That's easy. When you're on the reverse, that is difficult. And closing that range, one of the easiest ways to do it is to move like you normally would, but move your head off the center line, because people target your head probably 8 out of 10 times. So if you move your head off the center line, all of a sudden you can close the distance as normal, and then maybe even close the distance further so you get really snug. Or having things like, okay, I want to land my front kick, but I'm not having success. So maybe I learn how to slide. And then after I land a couple of those, I fake that as I slide to get into the clinch. And then from there, I can start working away. Sorry about that. Bob is being frustrating. I think the little peg in there or something is starting to slip. So sometimes he just drops. But closing distance is an absolute necessity, and having that confidence to get from here to here in whatever way you decide to. If you can't do that, if you're always gun shy, always waiting for somebody to come to you so you can counter them, that only works for part of the fight. You have to be able to get your own ability to close range. The last thing which I've noted on every high level person that I've ever sparred, where I'm like, whoa, they're really good, is they have the ability to control. Beginners don't very often, right? They could go, okay, I'm gonna throw a big hook and I can crush it through, or I'm gonna throw a hook controlled, and then they have to go really slow. But to be able to go fairly quick, but not rip somebody's head off, that takes an expert. And you might be going, well, why do I wanna learn to control? I wanna be a KO artist. Well, you need to have that ability, number one, to keep your partner safe. You don't wanna KO everybody who gets in the ring with you to do some sparring, but the other thing is setting up, right? If you wanna set things up, and I wanna flick down here to then open up the head, I can't be doing this slow, and I don't wanna put a lot of energy into it because it just doesn't sell. We wanna have that ability to flick. If you can do it down there, you can do it up there. Just that little touch. Everybody, again, that I've sparred with who I'm going, whoa, this person could be a world champ. They all have that ability. From the outside to spring in and go, boom, I could have taken his head off, but no, I don't have to. If you don't have that ability yet, very simply set yourself up in front of the bag. You could go this distance, and work your way through the different punches where you're going speed, but you're not breaking this guy's nose every time. And do the same thing on your kicks as well. Yes, it's nice to pass right through on a round kick, but it's also important to be able to pull your shot, because sometimes it's necessary in terms of setups and in terms, again, of saving people that you're training with. So if you guys can check all those boxes off, good, you're great. You're probably on your way to being high level. If you're going, yeah, I have things to work on, start drilling away. Start taking those training sessions where you put in the time, and I think before you know it, you're gonna go, wow, I'm getting pretty darn good. Could take a month, could take 6, but that skill level is gonna bump, and that's what this channel is all about, bumping your skill level up as high as possible. If you guys appreciate this video, please make sure you give the video a like, and I'll see you back here very soon.